I'm not welding it on now, so I was showing you this, but then I'll put this on, and I'll show you what these do. You line it up with the bottom with this, and the top one with this one. See the red line?
Mm-hmm.
From this hole, and that's what really counts. That area. So when I dimple this frame and give it to you, you can put your tool in the same holder, lock it down, and then measure what you need and make this spar. That's what you need to do. Because you can't just guess at this. You can't say, well, I'll go up all the way and this is no good. You won't get the belt will hit somewhere. So you got to have a certain spot from that the dimension to here, and a certain spot from this dimension to here. You can't have this back here too far, and you got to line it up square, like you got to line it up that it's going straight down, and start tightening one at a time, because you got bolts on yours too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to just do one at a time. Take your time. You can't put a wrench on there or a ratchet. You'll bust the frame. That's another thing about these frames. These are welded frames, tubing. There's a weld in here somewhere, and then they just do the forming. If that weld is in the middle of this tube on the inside, there's a chance that it'll rip, open up completely, and push to the inside. It doesn't really weaken it, but what I do is I go in there and I braze inside and then grind it. No big deal. But I done, knock on wood, a lot of them. I did 500 frames, and probably out of 500 frames, I got 10 that cracked. So it didn't worry me. But this is what I was trying to get across is these. I'm going to be taking this off anyways, because I'm going to clean all of these areas. I heated this. This is like house paint. It just burns and smokes and everything. So I'm going to go with emery paper and get this all down to bare metal. Same down here. And then we'll do that. But first, I want to just talk about this. When you put this on there with a 1/4-inch bolt and nut, you line it up as close to your eye as possible, and you put it in here. Now you can't put this one on this side. It'll be facing some place up there. But right now, see where the axle would go?
Yeah.
So if I put it back here and drop it, there's half a hole, approximately. And if you push it up this way, there's a half a hole. So this is exactly where this is supposed to go, and I'm going to braze this in place here. That's going to be later. So right now, did I put a screwdriver out here? Okay, let me get a screwdriver. Okay, we'll take that off. So that's the one thing that's important. The other thing is this bar goes in here, it'll go through this also, and then you bring it up here, and I got to loosen it because I tightened this a little bit. So you want to go up. You want to go up to here. Top one is for top, bottom one's for bottom. And then you line this up, and then you just start wrenching on it. And I use just a socket, and I start wrenching on it. I could just get it tight, but I want to clean it anyway. So this will just temporary, but. And right there, that one stays, and then you go down here. That's already perfect right where it's at. So then you start cranking on here, but you go back and forth don't just one part, because they lock up pretty good. So that'll be your dimpling. And then when, like I say, when you get home, you can take your tool and drop it into the slot, tighten it up, and then make your own marks for setting it for the next time when you do it. This is where you put your motor mount. Here's a rear, the bottom motor mount has this and this on it. And the reason is this is square and that locks into the bottom of your casting of your motor. You have to have that on here, and usually I braze it. I got this one just laying in there just so I got the height. And I made this fixture, and that's something you can make something simpler, but this, what it does is it holds it in this area. And I'm going to braze it around here and up here as far as I can first, and then let it, and then down here if I want to do it in the beginning. And then when it cools down, I'll take all this off, put the sample of that in there, and then braze it all around. And that's set. That and see the distance? I use a screw. There's just a little bit of space. That's a perfect spot to put the motor. Then you take this off, then you put the motor on in the hole, put the bolt on or nut on, and then you have this one is the top motor mount. It's going to be mounted in the motor, and then when you put your motor in, it's going to fall in the area that it should be. So now you got this one welded in, then you weld this in with the motor in there because you don't want to take it off and have a chance of this moving. And then you line everything up by eye. If it's straight, it's straight. Weld it, take the motor out, and then finish welding everything. And that's your motor mounts, spacing and everything. This bike's got a welded area here. I think it's a 48, 49, something like that. It's a good frame. So you don't have to do nothing reinforcement here or here. And then the only other thing is I got the clamp. This is the clamp for the guide bar, and you push it all the way in right at the end of the dimple. This will be, and you braze that in. So you got the guide bar. Last, you got the bridge. I advise you to use it. You put it up here, line it up, make it square by eye, and get a good area where you got some meat like this, and braze it on. And then you drop your bolt in there with your spring. Makes it a lot easier to do that.
And more positive.
Yeah.
And stronger.
It's way stronger. And then that little clip that Whizzer made, it goes on a seat post, that slips a lot. So this is going to stay there. And that's really the main things that you would need to know. There's nothing up here. You could make this. I got stops, but I'm out of them. You really don't need them. Al Bloom wanted them on his bike, and I made a whole bunch of them.
Take a picture of this, but up there, those are on the red bike.
Yeah, sort of.
Those
See
are
the
the
stops? Yeah, they got stops on them.
They're fancy for the frame. I mean, the fork not hitting the frame.
I thought I seen. Oh, right here is what the fork stop looks like. And what this is what is it? A half-inch tube. I threaded 5/16 both sides, and I put a notch in it. And the only thing the notch does, it goes like that. It's just so it's in the middle, and you just get this square. That's easy to make. You could take one of these if you want to do it. And then I had the stops, but it's getting costly now to do these. Like that. The stops are nylon. I'm doing them in a cheaper way. I buy these online or at the hardware store. But these would go into this, and when the fork comes around, it'll hit this nylon. You can, in fact, take. Is there another screw? Take the whole set of that screw. And you'd have one to experiment with. But then take some dimensions of what you're putting on so you can buy another set of these. These are sold at Ace Hardware. Well, let me ask you this. You want me to put these on this frame?
Why not?
I should, right?
Do that.